Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. The day has finally come where we have got, the companies have listened to the consumers and they finally decided to give us what we've wanted. And I'm talking about, of course, the first ever fully licensed M16A2 upper that has the fixed carrying handle for those folks who want to build those retro builds right here. Of course, that's your official, I'm not sure it's Cybergun, oh it's Angry Gun, but I always see those with Cyberguns. I'm not sure if Angry Gun is a division of Cybergun, I don't know. And then it's just licensed with Colt, I don't know exactly, but this model I'm getting is the A2 government, US government issue burst model. Now, the reason why I chose this one is because most of mine don't have the, already have the, I have a bunch of the M16A2 ones. This one doesn't have like the government marking issue. I want this one because it's a little more rare, I guess. Even though this doesn't change anything, this is just a cosmetic function. And so we can see right here, this is the, oops, wrong one, right here. So just absolutely incredible. And we'll talk more about this later. Of course, this is just a kind of an unboxing video, because what I really want to do is, it makes me nervous when I get something like this, because I don't know if it's really truly compatible with Marui parts, even though the box claims that it is. And so what I did is actually I took apart my Tokyo Marui M4 and used just the stock parts, and I'm trying to do what I can to install all Marui parts. So this, I mean, these handguards are from Brownells, but other than that, this whole locking collar here, or the slip ring, the barrel, and everything that was just removed straight from the Marui and installed in here. And so far, and of course, like the end cap right here, all Marui, the handles guard or the hand grip right here, the little trigger guard. Now you'll notice though that I'm still missing the selector switch, the magazine set, and that's because I have not been able to fully remove the trigger box. This little screw, you probably can't see, it's too dark in here, but that little screw at the very bottom is the only thing that's holding me back from taking it apart. And I think it is so put in so tightly that I don't think I can remove it, and I think I've damaged the head of the screw, that I might have stripped the screw. So I'm in pretty bad shape right here. I have to get a power tool and hopefully get that removed. But so far so good. I mean, minus this disaster here, so far all the parts seem to fit in. You know, it was a little tight fit, you had kind of to jam some stuff in there, but I was able to get it to fit at least. And so we'll see that this passes the true test right here. Now, it isn't completely to spec, because for some reason, I mean, we'll find out if this part will even fit in here once I get that removed. That won't be till today, or till I get those power tools installed. But for some reason on the Angry Gun M723, or is it at 20? Yeah, 23. The ones that they send you, the bolt, the forward assist right here, is a non-functional one. So what I decided to do is I try to take the original Tokyo Marui one, because it has the actual teeth in the metal parts on it to grip onto it, bite onto the bolt catch, and move it as an actual functional forward assist. And although it fits, this isn't actually the original. This is the original Tokyo Marui one here. It fits in there fine. However, it doesn't quite stay in completely. It's supposed to be a little bit more in like this, instead of sticking out like this. But unfortunately, because of the spring, you just can't get it to engage. So it's still going to be useless to you. Unfortunately, this model just cannot accept a real bolt catch. And although the same one works, like functionally works on the Tokyo Marui original, it will not work on this one, unfortunately. It just will not engage. So that's unfortunate. I tried actually, was so frustrated, I tried using an old real steel, like teardrop style bolt catch, and that one still won't catch either. I mean, it would catch, but the problem is it gets stuck because of the spring sizes, and I just can't get it to really work right now. So it's a very laborious process. It's probably not worth the trouble, unfortunately. So maybe you might actually have to buy an Angry Gun specific one. And remember, the one that they supply you is non-functional. It doesn't work, so it doesn't even have the teeth on it to bite on anything. Of course, this is just for decoration. This isn't changing. It's still going to be how it's normally set on the Tokyo Marui, right? So that's just a cosmetic feature. The other thing I want to point out, though, that is a little bit different is the hand guards, or the part where you put in the pistol grip, is a little bit different. It's a minor difference into the screw because of the structure. It doesn't really matter because you can use the same screw to install it. And then, of course, on the M723 that I have, it uses like a special like Angry Gun or Gun just modified part or whatever for the dust flap or the dust cover port. I'm using an original Tokyo Marui part here, and each time I can close it finally. On the Angry Gun version, I can't. I could close this now, and if I want to actuate it, you could, but it just doesn't open. Let me try to watch this. Normally, when you pull back on the charging handle, hold on, it's supposed to open. See, I just pulled it back. There we go. But it doesn't open right. It slipped open a little bit, so if I tap on it a little bit, it'll open. But I have to let the force of the bolt going forward to kind of knock the flap open, and it will open there. Not a huge deal, but again, it just kind of speaks to the it's not quite built to spec, basically. There was a couple of things that I actually forgot to mention that I thought was actually a really good idea that Angry Gun included, and changed the design a little bit in this receiver. That was good. So the first one was actually the rear end of the, if you take off the end plate where the buffer tube attaches, normally where my thumb is holding this little screw there's a little spring in there that juts out all the way, and so when you uninstall that cap, you have to be careful that that spring doesn't pop out, because that basically is a spring that holds the detent pin in, that keeps the rear takedown pin in place. With the Angry Gun model, you don't have to worry about that actually, because they actually have a little screw that holds the spring that holds the detent pin, the rear detent pin in. So you can take that end cap off and not worry about it, because there's a screw that holds that in place. Other features that you don't need I found out when I'm uninstalling it, was that you didn't need the little golden locking collar that goes around the barrel, because as you can tell, this part normally goes around the barrel in the original Tokyo Marui, but since you are it uses like a different barrel extension that you have to attach, you can tell that the sizes are different, and so it just fits differently, and so you don't need you can't use it. You have to remove the golden piece, or else it won't fit inside the front or the upper receiver right there. As you can tell, the sizes are different. But that, I don't really care. That doesn't seem to really matter one way or the other. It's not like a plus or not a minus. It's just different. The end cap piece was a plus, I think. And then I think the receiver, you don't use that little pin at the little washer, so you only need a straight up pin. So I think that's a good thing. Overall, not bad at all. The other thing I want to point out, though, is that the rear sight is not quite how it is in terms of how far you can adjust it. For some reason, the elevation can only be adjusted to a certain amount, and it's stuck at the very top right here. So I don't know if I can adjust that as much. I might try to see if I can replace it later on. But overall, though, this is exactly what we've been waiting for, and we finally received what we've wanted all this time. So I'm really happy about this. And the other thing I want to point out is the color. Man, this is one thing. I'm big on color, and I want to just show you guys what it looks like in terms of the coloring scheme. So this has always been the color I think Colt's models should be. The Tokyo Marui one, maybe because this is just an M4 model and this is an M16A2 and the coloring grade is different, but for the M16A2 platform, I always think it should be more like this slightly gray color. It matches very well, which with the GMP car 15 right here. Again, I think that's like the actual vintage or the correct color for the time period. And of course, in case y'all wanted to know, the one that I did a custom job on from Brownells, right, is a little too light when you compare it now. So next time I'll probably get like a slightly darker paint. I mean, this is still a nice color. I still like it, but it's probably a little too gray right there. So this is probably the real color scheme that you should be getting right here. Overall, we have yet to tell whether this part here is completely the same as the real one, or I mean, it was compatible with Marui parts. Until I can get that receiver pulled out, we'll have to wait on that. And then, of course, I forgot to mention these little things right here are just fake ones, fake bolts that gets glued in here. I didn't know it came with a box. It was in the back of the box, and since I almost threw out the little dummy forward assist, I almost threw out these little pins right here too. So those are just glued in there, but they're not really. So hopefully, once I get those power tools in, I can get those the trigger box removed and installed on this, and we would essentially have to verify if this is truly a drop and fit or drop and play, or what's the word? If it truly is a compatible with a Tokyo Marui system. All right, folks. I'm still excited. This has finally happened, and you know, I was really glad when they came out with the A1 version for the one of the forward assist. One of the brass deflector in the back and the A1 style. But what I've always wanted was this model right here, and I'm finally glad they have it here. So more to come, and stay tuned, guys.